What is conceptual framework?
The conceptual framework is a system of ideas and goals which can help to make a consistent set of standards and rules in accounting. MASB has issued the conceptual framework in 2011 and revised it in 2018. Conceptual framework issued by MASB is referring to the conceptual framework issued by IASB.
What is the change in conceptual framework 2018?
The changes between Conceptual Framework 2011 and Conceptual Framework 2018 are: Chapter 1. The Objective of General Purpose Financial Reporting. In this chapter, the roles of stewardship were introduced. Chapter 2. Qualitative Characteristics of Useful Financial Information. In this chapter, the roles of prudence, measurement uncertainty, and substance over form within the basic qualitative characteristics were introduced. Chapter 3. Financial Statement and the Reporting Entity. This is a new chapter in Conceptual Framework 2018. The term reporting entity and its boundary were introduced. General guidance on reporting entity is provided. Chapter 4. The Elements of Financial Statements. In this chapter, the definitions of the asset and liability have been refined. Income and expenses are explained in more details, and expected flow also had been deleted to avoid the probability occurs. Chapter 5. Recognition and derecognition. Conceptual Framework 2018 had revised the definition of recognition and prescribed the situations under which an asset or liability is removed or derecognized. Chapter 6. Measurement. Conceptual Framework 2018 had described the different types of measurement bases and the factors to consider in selecting the measurement basis. Chapter 7. Presentation and Disclosure. This is a new chapter in Conceptual Framework 2018. In this chapter, it is clearly stated that how information should be presented and disclosed in financial statements, such as classifying income and expenses in the statement of profit or loss.
What is the issue arising from the revised conceptual framework?
Some of the concepts are new and have not been tested in any recent standard setting process. It may give some challenges of the MASB to develop standards in the future. This may give implication to the company.
The issues that may arise from the revised conceptual framework are: Introduce of bundle of rights approach for assets. The introduce of bundles of rights approach for an asset has caused the company difficult to determine to what extent an asset can be split into different rights. For example, the aircraft company may face some problems in determining how many rights their aircraft can be split into. Dividing the assets into different rights may also give implication to the recognition and derecognition. Introduce the new practical ability approach for recognizing liabilities. The introduce of new practical ability approach for recognizing liabilities may cause the company to have a need to determine future actions or costs that has no practical ability to avoid. However, this cost is very difficult to determine as the future is difficult to predict. Introduce the control-based approach for derecognition. The introduce of control-based approach for derecognition indicate that the company will take an asset off balance sheet when it loses control over all or part of it. However, the conceptual framework doesn't provide the more details guideline about this approach. For example, it is difficult to determine what to do if the company retains some rights after the transfer.